Hey, welcome back, Bobcats. All right, let's take a look. So we're talking about power of a power notes today. So we have x squared raised to the 4th. So if I were to expand that out, this is what we're saying. X squared times x squared times x squared times x squared. Essentially, I'm writing that out 4 times. What is that really? Well, there's 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. And when we said if the base is the same, we add them over here. So if I got 2, 4, 6, 8... right? How many of them do I have total? Well, I have 4 of these, but when I multiply 2 times 8, that gives me, or 2 times 4 gives me 8. All right, let's take a look at another one. How many y's to the 5ths do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I have 5, 5, 5, right? 4 times. And 5 times 4 is 20. All right, so this one, what is this going to read? We're going to take c to the 7th times c to the 7th times c to the 7th. 7, 7, 7. 3 times. Total of 21. So what's happening here? Well, when we're raising a power to another power, all we're going to do is multiply. Multiply the exponents. So let's take a look at a couple examples. Here's how we're going to do this, all right? So we got a 5 and an x being raised to the power of something, okay? So I'm going to write this 5 in one parenthesis and this x in another parenthesis. All right, this x is to the power of 1, so I'm going to put a 1 right here. All right, this right here, this I'm just going to type into my calculator. 5 squared. 5 squared is 25. And I'm going to take 1 and 2 and I'm going to multiply them. In other words, 1 times 2 would make this x squared. So my final answer is 25x squared. All right, number 2. So here's how I look at this. I have a negative 4 raised to an exponent. And this is how you know. When you got parentheses and a little number out there, that tells you that you're raising something to that many powers. So I'm going to put a parenthesis for the first thing, and I'm going to put this in parentheses for the second one. So I'm going to put the negative 4 in the first parenthesis and the negative into the negative 5 in this parenthesis. Okay? And so now I'm going to take care of my powers to a power. Well, here's what we have. This is just calculation. And negative 4, I'm just going to put a negative 4 right here. Negative 4, and I'm going to raise that to the third. And that's negative 64. All right, what am I doing with the negative 5 and the positive 3? Well, I'm going to multiply them. And so that's going to give me n to the negative 15. Well, now here's a problem. I can't have negative exponents. So I'm going to put this guy over 1. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move our n to the negative 15 to the bottom, and he's going to become n to the positive 15. So now he's gone up there. So my final answer, I have negative 64 on the top of this, divided by n to the positive 15. Again, all my exponents are positive. I don't have any more parentheses. All of these parentheses are gone. All right, so let's take a look at number 3. And you ask yourself, is everything being raised to the power of 3? No, this 4x is not being raised to the power of 3. So I'm just going to bring them down, the 4 and the x. However, I have a 2, an x squared, and a y raised to the power of 3. So that's 3 things that's raised to the power of 3. Okay, I have a 2. I have this x squared, because the exponent has to go with its base. And then I have this y. And this y is to the first power. So here's what we're going to do, right? We're multiplying all this stuff together. All right, well, this right here is just a calculator work. 2 to the power of 3. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. And then I have this 4. I'm going to bring down my x to the first power. I'm going to multiply 2 and 3, so that gives me x to the 6th power. And then I'm also going to multiply my 1 and my 3, and that's going to give me y to the 3rd power. So now I'm going to regroup some things. I'm going to put my 4 times my 8 next to each other. I'm going to put my x1 and add 6 to it. And then I have my y to the 3rd. So this right here, I type into the calculator. 4 times 8 is going to be 32. 1 plus 6, that's going to make this x to the positive 7. And then we have our y to the 3rd. That is our final answer. All right, let's take a look at one more thing. Again, only the numerator is raised to a power of 2. And there are 3 things in the numerator. There is a 6, an x cubed, and a y to the 4th. So I am going to write 3 parentheses raised to the power of 2 and put each thing in there. So I have a 6, I have an x to the power of 3, and I have a y to the power of 4. And then at the bottom, I have a 3, an x to the 1 power, and a y squared. So let's simplify everything we have. Well, 6 squared, right? That's just 6 times 6. So that should be what, 36, right? 36. Okay. And then we're going to have x to the 6th, y to the 8, because I'm multiplying here, I'm multiplying here. And then I still have my 3, x1, and y2. All right, so we're almost done. I need to simplify my coefficients, subtract my x's, and subtract my y's. 36 divided by 3. Again, we just do exactly what the coefficients are supposed to do. That's 12. I'm going to take 6 and take 1 away. So that's going to be x to the 5th. And then I'm going to take 8 and subtract 2. And that's going to give me y to the 6th. All right, that should close out our semester. So thanks, Bobcats, for watching. And we'll